All right, so root your feet down into the mat and then inhale those arms up and out, reach up, lift up. Breathing here in your Surya Namaskar breath. Breathing. All right, let's see how that goes. And then exhale those hands down. Inhale the arms up, reach up, lift up. This is the yoga of grace, right? Even when life gets kind of, things don't go according to plan, how do you respond? Exhale down. Hands to the heart space. We lost our music because I had it on my phone. I might go over and grab it on my computer in a moment. But right now, let's just flow. And exhale, dive down. And yesterday or the day before yesterday, whenever it was, head hangs heavy, arms hang heavy. Soften those knees as much as you need to. Just hang out. And ask yourself, what is, if my life, if I was to, I'm trying to think of the best way to frame this to get things started. Inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release, head hangs heavy. And then inhale those arms all the way up, reach up, lift up. Hands together. Down the midline. So how much do you feel like you partner with the universe? Exhale, come on down. Right? When it comes down to your life, what kind of messages do you send to yourself? Do you feel like the universe, inhale, arch up halfway, or you can translate this to life, is for you or against you? Inhale those arms up, reach up, lift up. Hands together, down the middle. And inhale those arms up, reach up, come up onto the balls of the feet. Good. Focused gaze, grounding down into the feet, even as you lift up. Beautiful balance, rooting down into our first chakra, Muladhara chakra. And then settle those heels down and come on into your forward fold. Let the arms hang heavy, the head hangs heavy, tailbone rises up, head hangs down. Inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. So when it comes down to living a life of grace, step that right leg back. The foundational beginning of living this life of grace is seeing if you can shift into the belief, drop that knee down, and set the hips back, toes stay down. Inhale forward. Susan's saying I'm headless on her iPhone, but not on the MacBook. Yeah, I'm with you too. I think it has to do with the size of your phone. Come on into your Ardha Hanumanasana. It's like, we're gearing up for Halloween. I'm the headless yoga teacher. Inhale forward. So with this exploration on grace, if we can make the shift, exhale it back, toes rise up, breathing into our leg. We often do this pose because it's so good about warming up the hamstrings. Inhale forward. If we can make the shift into believing that the universe has got our backs, curl the toes under, ground the hands and step it back down dog. That the universe, everything that happens in your life happens for you. The good stuff, the challenging stuff, it happens for you, for your evolution. Remember the word that we used? I learned this from Mega, whom some of you have met, have danced with. And the word is blessing. It's a blessing and a lesson. It's a blessing. Tailbone rises up and the head hangs heavy here in your down dog. And then drop those knees down, hands under shoulders. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, arch. Flowing with your cat and your cow, really articulating the spine. And what an amazing shift that would be, right? And I've shared this with y'all, but I'll say it again. You know, even, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, if you had asked me, Laura, do you play the role of the victim? I would have been like, no. But I do. I think so many of us do, right? You know, oh my gosh, this happened to me again. Oh my goodness, this kind of a life challenge. And when we have that kind of belabored attitude, it really drains us of our energy. Inhale, lift into your cow. And then exhale, arch into your couch. Inhale those arms up, coming up into your Urdhva Hastasana on your knees. And then arch over, doesn't matter which direction. Inhale, lift up, and go in the other direction. So if you were able to make a shift, that the universe has got your back. Inhale, come on down onto the heels, catch the toes, bring the toes underneath. Sitting back onto those heels, opening the soles of the feet. And especially if you start, playing the role of the witness, assuming the role of the witness, the right arm comes across the chest, catching it with the left arm as you look to the right. And then release, and let's go in the other direction. Breathing into those shoulders. And then come off of those toes and inhale those arms up. Maybe a little bit of a back bend, but don't compress the lumbar spine, the lower back. And then slowly, with control, come on down. If you were able to shift into this true belief, this deep-seated belief, that when the challenges arise, these are lessons that the universe is sending you that are necessary for your evolution, necessary for your growth. How would that shift your perspective? Curl the toes, lift the hips down. And the reality is that so many of us fight life. We fight life, we, resist or we struggle, we try to control, settling one heel down and then the other. And then let's bring that right leg forward. Coming into our Ardha Hanukkasana on this side. Knees over the ankle, hands frame the foot. Pour energy down that left leg, out the heel. Drop the knee, low runner's lunge, allowing the hips to release. And set those hips back, toes stay down. And inhale forward. So starting, from a self-inquiry standpoint, starting to see, is there a theme in my life? And I mentioned to you all, exhale it back, toes rise up. I mentioned to you all that my theme lately, is that I have Karma, who is, I'd say she's 90% blind and about 80% deaf, okay? So just helping her, and her sniffer works fine, so she's constantly, exhale it back, toes rise up, following me around in the kitchen or wherever, because she loves me, she wants to be next to me. And very often she'll just make these erratic turns. She kind of makes these circles. She's gotten kind of anxious in her old age, which means that she crashes into me. Okay? And it's quite the endeavor to get her to come out the door to go to the bathroom or whatever. So that's Karma. And then I also mentioned to y'all, curl the toes, lift that back knee, step it forward. I am teaching Burnett how to drive. Cindy and I are teaming up on that. Arms hang heavy, head hangs heavy. And, being a young driver, she's obviously very tentative. She goes slow. And then with the nonprofit that I'm the founder of, inhale, reach it up, lift it up. Come on up. Exhale, hands to the space. We've had very much fits and starts with our progress. Inhale, reach up, lift up, come up onto the balls of the feet. So if you're on a phone, you might want to turn it, because I'm still in landscape, so maybe that's why I was headless. Because if you have me in portrait, long and thin, you're going to lose my head. Heels come down and fold down. Head hangs heavy. Inhale, arch up halfway. So lots of fits and starts, especially with COVID, around the success and the engagement of discovering my purpose. We've got this amazing program, and step that right back. Left knee over the ankle, and inhale up, Anjaneyasana. So here's the universe. The universe is sending me blessing after blessing of, you really need to learn patience. Really and truly, you need to learn patience, right? And if I take it in, if I make the shift of, this is my season, my time of needing to really plug into a more patient sense of being, opening the heart, breathing Anjaneyasana. And then hands down the midline. Drop that knee, if the knee is comfortable, on the mat. And then take your twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And it totally changes the energy. Okay? If I'm in a space where Karma's banging into me, or, Burnett is taking her time to get to school in the morning as she drives, hands frame the foot. And I'm able to say, okay, here's the opportunity for me to practice. Curl the toes under. Set that foot. Inhale it up, Vira 2. It shifts my energy, right? It allows me to plug into grace. Straighten that leg and glide into your triangle pose. Hand comes down, possibly on the shin, possibly on a block, possibly on the top of the thigh. Wherever your triangle pose goes. But remember to keep that top shoulder up. If the shoulder starts falling down, like this, as you're going lower in the pose, then float it up and bring the shoulder back up so you can easily look up at the arm. Okay? A little bit of a bend to that front knee, that left knee. Breathe in your triangle. Another breath. And maybe drop the arm down and around to take your bind, or not. Listen to the body. Listen to the body. Another breath. And then float that arm up. And come on up. Vera 2. Knees over ankle. Stretch it out. Fingertip to fingertip. And then let's take our goddess. So heels in, toes out. Okay? Sit down in your goddess. Tuck the tail. Beautiful open heart. Arms like cactus. Cactus arms. Breathe in here. Another breath. And if you want to get ferocious, we add in lion's breath. So we stick our tongue out and we roar. Letting go of this sense of the universe being against us. And then straighten the legs. Widen the heels and come on down into your wide-legged forward fold. Let me get our music started. Actually, I kind of want it, but I kind of don't want to mess with. The ad always comes up on YouTube. So we'll let it go. Tailbone rises up, head hangs heavy. Another breath. Inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. And then bring the hands underneath the hips. And we're turning again so that the left leg is forward. Inhaling up into our Vera 1. Opening the heart, facing the front of the mat. And step off onto that left foot. Bring the knee into the chest. Hugging the knee in. Shoulders down the back. Maybe roll the foot on the ankle if that feels good. Drop that tailbone down. And then bring the heel back towards the glute. Left arm reaches up. Prep for King Dancer. Breathing into the quads. So what stories do you tell yourself? Where do you feel beleaguered, belabored by life? Where do you have those moments where you're like, why does this keep happening to me? Right? Inhale into your Vera 1, and then hands either side of the foot. Come on down. Head hangs heavy, tailbone rises up. Your choice here. What would you like to do? Rest in down dog, come in child's pose, or flat? Come on down, knees chest shape. Inhale, arch up, flat back. Open the heart. Arms banging into the podium, the tripod. Inhale, lift it up. And come on to Anahatasana. Palms press. Forehead comes down. Breathing here. Curl those toes under. And then plug the hands into the mat. Curl the toes up, down dog. Meeting in down dog if you were doing something else. Walk your dog out. And now the left leg floats back and up, stretch it up, reach it up, and step it forward. And if you've centered on something that, for me it's patience. For you, maybe it's anger. Maybe it's feeling unworthy, feeling like you don't have enough, feeling anxious, okay? Lifting up into your Anjaneyasana on this side. So our right heel is up, our arms are up. Beautiful open heart. Breathing here in our Anjaneyasana. Shoulders down the back. And then drop that left knee. You might be twisted this way. Do we not? With Anjaneyasana? I think we did. Ruh-roh. All right, come on up. We'll do Anjaneyasana and another flow on the other side. Come on up into your Vira 1. Hips squared forward, shoulders down the back. Breathe in here, in your Vira 1. And then open it up into your Virasana 2. Long stretch, fingertip to fingertip. Whew. And straighten that leg and glide into your Trikonasana. Y'all, I'm totally messed up. I'm supposed to have my right leg forward. Whatever side you did on the other side, do the opposite one. So, yes, for me, it's definitely my right leg forward. Oi, oi, oi. Grace, right? Responding with grace to these challenges in life, whatever they might be. Breathe in here, in your Trikonasana. Another breath. And coming into your Vira 2. And while we're right here, let's do our Anjaneyasana on this side. So bringing our left heel up, our right knee is over our ankle. Open up our heart up. Breathing here into our high crescent. Allow the hips to release. Feel that beautiful stretch through the hip flexors on the left side. And then drop that knee down. And come into your twist. Breathing into the belly. So seeing if you can settle on a theme, on something that often runs through your mind when it comes down to you feeling like the universe does not have your back. And see if you can start harvesting the lesson. Lifting up, coming into your Vira 2, stretching it open. Breathing here. And then we're coming into Goddess. So the heels come in, toes go out, sit down. Let the tailbone drop. Feel the strength of the legs, feel the heat building in the thighs. And if you'd like, add your lion's breath. Stick the tongue out. This is super good if you have a tight jaw. Straighten those legs. Heels wider than the toes. And come on into your forward fold. Whew. Grabbing your block if you have one. It can be really nice to have a block or 2 or 3 if you can get your forehead down onto the block. Fingertips in line with the toes and traction the head down. Tailbone rises up as you fold here in your forward fold. Another breath. And then walk it up. Right hand comes down, left arm twists up. And then the other side. And fold down. And then face the front of the mat again. Coming back into your Vira 1. Lifting it up. Breathing here. Another breath. And then step off onto that right foot to do prep for King Dancer on this side. So that means we soften that knee just a little bit so we're not hyperextending the right knee. And we bring the left knee into the chest, shoulders are down the back. Good focus gaze. Hugging that knee in. And if you'd like, you can bring the right arm up. And then step it back. Vira 1. Arms reach up. And hands come down. Head hangs heavy. Breathing into this belief that the universe has got your back. That your life is unfolding with grace. And if you have a moment where you're like, really? It doesn't feel like it. Well, isn't that an interesting opportunity? Your choice, child's pose, resting down dog, or flow with me through vinyasa. I know, Jackie. Oh, Karma. Yep, she's a mess. Opening the heart here in the Bhujangasana. And for those of you who are flowing with me, come on down and come into your Sphinx pose. Elbows under shoulders, palms pressed, traction the elbows back. Pour energy into the elbows so that you grow your spine long. Glide the shoulders down. With Sphinx, there's a tendency to this, right? You don't want this. You want to be up. Draw the heart between the biceps. There she goes again. And then come on down, onto the belly. Hands tented, pillowed. Forehead rests on the hands. Wag your tail. Close the eyes and go inside. And think about your life unfolding with grace. Being open to the blessings that are served up for you to learn from, for you to evolve. Because if the same thing keeps happening, there's a reason. There's a reason for it. Hands underneath shoulders, curl the toes, lift the hips down, dog. Walk your dog out. Tailbone rises up, head hangs down. And float that right leg back and up. Stretch it up and step it forward. Coming into your Vira 1, take your time. Thinking about all the energy it would free up if you felt like you were partnering with life, partnering with the universe. Step off onto that right foot. Coming into tree pose first. Left foot on the right leg. Remember, the foot can be anywhere on the leg. The only place we don't want it is on the side of the knee. And grow those arms up. Pressing the leg into the foot and the foot into the leg. Squeezing it. Root down into that right foot. Feeling yourself stable and strong. Open to these blessings. A recipient, a partner with life. Not a victim. Another breath. And step it back. Bringing the hands to the heart space. An Anjali Mudra. And then the hands can come up to the third eye, Anjali Mudra, and overhead. And then step off again onto the right foot, hugging the left knee into the chest, prep for King Dancer. And this might be sufficient for you. And then bring that heel in. Right arm reaches up. I just realized we did prep for Padagustasana and not prep for King Dancer the first time we went through this. So it's been a bit of a scramble. So bringing your grip, switching your grip, so you're rotating the palm And then floating forward. Keep the left hip down. Soften the right knee. Arm reaches up. Pull that leg up. Push the foot into the hand. And step it back and have a good focused gaze. Inhale, reach up. And hands come down. Walk your dog out. I used to have this magnet on my refrigerator. I'm not sure where I got off to because I really loved it. And it said, it was a quote from the Buddha. It said, every morning we are born again. And effectively we get a fresh start. We get to just do our best. So maybe just thinking about, these habits, another breath. And widen the knees, touch the toes, sit back, child's pose. And knowing, especially those of you who went through the workshop, knowing that we have our brains wired to habitually do, habitually think certain ways. Okay? So I'm not saying that there's a magical switch. We have to work at rewiring, re-habituating ourselves. But with presence, connecting to the witness, we can do it. We can do it. For me, again, my practice is every time I feel myself getting impatient, I stop and I say, there we go. There's the universe teaching me. I need to be patient. I need to be patient. Another breath. Does that mean I'm patient 100% of the time? No. I need to learn this. Am I getting better? Yes. Walk your feet out. Okay, let's keep it real. Let's be kind. Let's be compassionate to ourselves. Breathing here in our down dog. Another breath. And then flip that left leg back and up. Stretch it up. Reach it up. And step it forward. Coming into our Vera 1. Set your feet. Take your time. Lift it up. Open it up. Thinking of your intention, bringing the hands to the heart. Setting an intention. What is your intention? Is there something in particular where you're like, I'm going to stop battling life around this thing? Bringing it up to the head, the third eye, and then overhead. Stepping off onto that left foot, coming into our Vrikshasana on this side, our tree pose on this side. All of the foot can be down on the earth. Catch your balance. Wobbling is good. It means we're firing up the cerebellum, which is at the back, the base of our brain, which governs balance. If you want to see something really cool, Google bird brain and see how big the cerebellum of a bird is. They got these little teeny cortexes and they got these big old cerebellums. Breathing here. And your Vrikshasana really opening up, rooting down and opening up to life's lessons. Stop fighting. Stop fighting. Step that right foot back and inhale it up. And when you stop fighting, it doesn't mean you've given up. Okay? It doesn't mean you've given up. Depending on what it is, you might feel like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? Just see if you can pivot. Breathing here in your Vera 1. And then step off onto that left foot, bringing the right heel into the glute. Prep for King Dancer, left arm reaches up. And chill in here to feel like this is your pose. Otherwise, switching your grip so you're holding onto the inner arch of the foot. The thumb is on the ball of the foot, and then we push our foot back as we hinge forward, keeping the right hip down. Good focus gaze. Breathing here. And then step it back. With control or not. Opening it up, we roll one. Hands come down. Oh, well, good, Jackie, I'm glad. Tailbone rises up and head hangs heavy. Roll the head and the neck. And then widen those knees and touch the toes and sit it back. Coming down into the child's pose. Palms are up. Feel yourself here, playing with the potential of shifting your perspective, being more receptive. Another breath. And then let's roll it onto our backs and let's do a nice juicy Supta Padangusthasana. So grab your strap if you've got one. If you don't have one, you can grab a sweatshirt, you can grab a long sleeves t-shirt, you can grab a bathrobe tie. All kinds of things could stand in for your strap. If you have a tweaky low back, you can leave the sole of the left foot on the floor. Otherwise, you extend the leg long, and we bring our right leg overhead. So, I'm just thinking more about this thing of you being like, okay, Laura, you're telling me to give up. So let's say, as an example, just trying to think through an example. So pouring energy up that leg, out the heel, the leg is straight, pulling the ball of the foot forward. And remember, when we're in our Supta Padangusthasana, we have an anterior tilt to our pelvis. So what that means is that we grow our tailbone down, which you'll feel you'll get lighter through the back waist, right around the belt line. And this moves this pose into the belly of the hamstrings, which is better for us from physiological experience. So let's say that you're really angry about racial inequity, okay? And I'm saying to you, well, see about, life's lessons. And you're like, well, where do I go with that? Are you saying that I shouldn't be angry? Are you saying, because that feels like giving up. That feels like being passive. And that's not the message at all, and I'll remind you what we talked about, I think it was just yesterday, or the day before yesterday, is Patanjali's 4 ways of relationship, drawing that leg in, and then go on a diagonal. We're friendly towards the joyous, we're compassionate towards the suffering. A little bit of a diagonal, feel the piriformis zing right down the middle of the boot. You might also get an IT band stretch here. And then drop that leg out to the right. So both sides of the strap go into the right hand and drop the leg out. So if you have a block, you can kickstand your leg with the block. That can be really nice. Too darn close to the wall. So compassionate to the suffering. We are respectful, we venerate the elderly or the wise, and then we're indifferent toward the wicked, or the annoying, or the irritating, or the infuriating, depending on how you want to define them. So back to our, racial inequity example. The pivot that we encourage you to make, that I encourage you to make, breathing here. Float that leg up. is saying, okay, I'm really passionate about this issue. How can I find people who inspire me, who are doing good things to make a difference? So this is like an appreciative inquiry approach, right? Release the strap and bring that leg long and down. And this is much more sustainable. It's much more life affirming, where you constantly turn towards what is working, what is good, and you allow yourself to be inspired by that. That's living a life of grace. Because anger, it can have a transformative quality when it's just a momentary thing to draw us into action, but we cannot be fueled by anger. It will burn us out. Another breath. Breathing into the length of that right leg. And then gently straighten out the spine if you need to. If you've got a tweaky low back, the sole of the right foot comes onto the earth. The left leg goes up, strap around the ball of the left foot. So in no way, shape, or form is this about becoming passive. Is this about giving up? It's the opposite, because when you stop fighting life, you have so much more energy to spend your time, spend your energy where it serves you best. Breathing into the back of that leg. Listening to the Ujjayi breath of karma. Keep breathing into those hamstrings. Remember our anterior tilt of the pelvis. I forgot it myself for a moment. So we root our tailbone down. And as you do this, you'll feel with this tilt of the pelvis, you get lighter through the back waist. And that shifts the stretch in the hamstring. Drawing. And there's a good chance that as you do that, the leg will float away from you, which is fine. This isn't a wrestling contest, it's all good. Drawing that leg in. If you have a tweaky low back, this flow right here, this Supta Padmasana flow, is the best investment. You only have 5 minutes to do yoga, this is what you should do. And then bring the leg at a bit of a diagonal, opening up the piriformis. The piriformis will run right down the middle of the glute. If you've got a tight piriformis, you're like, Laura, you don't need to tell me where it is. I feel it. Just allowing the mind to float. Breathing here. Slowing down. Quieting down. And then letting the left foot go out to the side. Grab your block. And if you'd like, you can kickstand your leg. That can feel really nice because it just means you just kind of get to melt down. Breathing here. Nice big belly breath. Another breath. And float that leg up and overhead. Draw the leg in. And then extend the leg long. Feet flop open. And if there's one last thing that would feel really yummy before you settle into your Shavasana. Do that now, whatever it looks like. It doesn't have to be, quote unquote, an asana. Anything that serves your body, suits your body. Maybe grab a blanket off the couch. It's a wall pose. Put a bolster under the knees. Whatever works for you. Breathe in here. And allow yourself to melt. Today's poem is called Beaver Pond. Things make sense here. Trees fall when teeth gnaw them smartly through. Hard work holds the dam together. Single tail slaps signal danger. Frogs croak in bass and tenor. Red-winged blackbirds rise from the weeds. I need the sense I find here, the simple cyclic order of season following season. Trees leafing in the spring to shade jackin' pulpits pushing up through last year's leaves. I take my lessons where I find them, here where the beavers swim in slow circles, watching me. They wonder how I live with such small teeth. Right. I find the lessons. Our woodpecker is saying hello. He's tap, tap, tapping. This is like life. Tap, tap, tap. Are you paying attention? Tap, tap, tap. I'm going to keep tapping on you. I'm going to keep drilling holes in you until you pay attention to these blessings I'm serving up for you. So as you're ready, moving the body as the body wishes to be moved. Listening to the body, paying attention to the body. Right? Maybe stretching long, or curling in, whatever speaks to your heart, whatever speaks to this beautiful body of yours. And then as you're ready, rolling over onto the right side, cradling the heart. And carefully press yourself up into an easy seat. Wrapping the arms around yourself. Saying to yourself, may I live a life of grace. May I partner with the universe so I can expand myself more and more into this beautiful life that I am living. Nice big inhale as we ohm out together.